What's up, strikers? I'm Captain Jackson. I'm going to teach you how to do an improvised rappelling harness known as a Swiss seat, made with a 14-foot nylon rope and a standard carabiner, sometimes called a D-ring. To begin, take the D-ring, place it on your shirt there so it's out of the way, and take your rope and put your ends together such that you can find the center of the rope, which you will then place in the hand with which you do not write. So if I'm right-handed, it's going to go in my left hand. So put the center of the rope on that palm and then place it on the nearest hip. Again, if I'm right-handed, it'll go on my left hip. If you're left-handed, it'll go on your right hip. Then what you'll do is you take your writing hand, you'll wrap around the back side here and grab one of those ends, pull it around, and without letting the rope slide on your hip, you just basically bring forward what you've got such that you now have one rope longer than the other. The short end should be the side of the hand with which you write. The very first knot you're going to do is called a double overhand knot. Now the overhand knot is the same knot that you do when you first tie your shoes by placing one end over the other and pulling it through to create a little knot. To make it a double overhand knot, you're going to run one of those lines under the line again, so now you have the double overhand knot. You want to make sure this is nice and snug around your hip bones, not up on your waist, and you also want to make sure that your shirt's tucked in tight so that the rope doesn't bite on your skin in case your shirt were to want to ride up. Now, after you've got your double overhand knot created, you're going to run the lines under your legs, keeping it on the outside of your genitals so you don't hurt anything. And as you bring it around from front to back, you're going to take the ends and run them under the line that's on your waist. Again, run it from bottom to top, coming out from your legs so that you have now the ends close to your shoulders. Now, to make this system tight, what you're going to have to do is pull up on the ropes as you squat so that you tighten the whole system up. Now, to prevent that from slipping, you take the end of each side and go from the inside to the outside underneath the vertical lines that are over top of your buttocks. So take this end, again, inside to outside, making sure you don't go back through the loop you just created. Pull it all the way tight until you have a nice little P-shaped knot there. That's what I like to call a no-slip, so that it keeps this system tight and from slipping. Do the same thing on the right side. Again, take the end of the rope, go from the inside to the outside, making sure you do not go through the loop again. Pull it all the way tight until you have a nice little P-shaped knot there. Now, your system is pretty tight, but you want to finish it off. To do that, you take the side of the end that you do write with, in my case right side because I'm right-handed, and you're going to bring it across the hip and go under the first vertical line which goes through your legs. Under that line there. And pull it all the way to until the two lines that are at your waist are side by side with no gap. If you have a gap there, what can happen is that it'll be loose later on. So keep that tight now, there's no slack. After you've got that done, just bring that knot or that end all the way to your left side so that you can create a square knot on the opposite hip. A square knot is a very useful knot that we use for many purposes, but in this case, it's to basically finish off your whole rope system. So, to do a square knot, you either do left over right, then right over left, or vice versa. Now, if that confuses you, the best thing to do is just to start off with an overhand knot like you did in the beginning, just like when you tie your shoe. In my case, I always take the longest end, and I keep that on top. So in my case, right over left. And then you pull nice and tight against your hip. So there's my overhand knot there. Now, in my case, I did right over left first. Now, if I don't remember which I did, and I need to finish the knot, all I have to do is look at it and find out which one of these ends is on top. If here's my overhand knot that I started with, there's the one that's on top, and there's the line that's on the bottom. If it's on top, to finish it into a square knot, you keep it on top. If this is the one that's on top, I'm going to keep it on top and then run it back through the loop and pull it tight like so. So I'll create a nice figure 8 shaped knot right there at my hip. You do not want this knot too close to the front. Keep it towards the side, over here by your hip bone. Now to keep this square knot from slipping and making the whole system loose again, you take the ends and you create a half hitch on the other rope that comes out of that knot. Again, with the end, create a half hitch with the rope that comes out of the knot. So in this case, I'm going to run it under that rope. I'm going to create a little loop and push it back through it and pull it tight against the square knot. That way the square knot won't loosen from this side. You do the same thing on this end. I'm going to run it under, like that, creating a loop, and then run it back through the loop, pulling it tight against the square knot. That'll leave me with a little bit of leftover. I'll take all that leftover rope and just tuck it in my pocket. That way they're not dangling around, getting caught on other things. Now, the harness itself is finished, but to be ready for your inspection so you can go across the rope bridge, you need to finish it off with your carabiner or your D-ring, like so. The way to finish it off is to open the D-ring and pretend like you're going to hook your bottom lip with it, and that's the direction you need to go with the D-ring on the top two sets of ropes here, right at your hips. Like you're going to hook your bottom lip, go and hook both of those ropes there, and then bring it all the way around such that the D-ring points down and away from you. Now you're ready to be inspected by the safety OIC. You'll run over there and say, I'm ready for inspection. They'll double check everything, and if you're good to go and you got a nice tight system, you'll be able to traverse the rope bridge and help your team finish the Striker Challenge lane. If you got any questions, give me an email at Brian Jackson, that's BrianJackson at ccisd.net, and I'll try to help you any way I can. Until then, we'll see you at the Striker Challenge.